Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And I actually didn't expect to make a video over here today. I was talking to my sponsor right before I got ready to start vlogging, and we were talking about Thanksgiving tomorrow and our plans, and she was talking about how she's cooking for her entire family. And she was asking me what I was doing, and we were just kind of catching up. And tomorrow we're going over to my in-laws for the first part of the day, and then the second part of the day we're spending with my cousin and her family. And so I'm really excited to see everybody. It'll be a full day of family, and you know, that's what I was talking to my sponsor about. Something that I said something about, you know, it's so funny that like I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm excited about the food, but I'm so excited about seeing everybody and just spending time with everybody, you know. And I said, back in the day, like, I was never excited to go see my family. In fact, I can remember, like, going out the Wednesday, well, tonight, before Thanksgiving, which is, like, one of the biggest nights in the year to go out to bars and clubs, you know? It's, like, one of the biggest social activity nights, whatever. And I would go out, and I can remember being like, we would all like commiserate, like, oh, we have to go to our families tomorrow and stuff like that, right? And I never wanted to go. And then, you know, my drinking and my drugging got so bad the year before I got sober. And now kind of my sobriety birthday is December 17th. I'm counting down the days, you know, to my sobriety day. And this was the really dark period of my use. Like, I mean, it was bad before this, but this is like the really bad period. And this is what I was telling my sponsor on the phone, that I remember that year, there had been something that had previously happened, and I kind of like really made an ass of myself at like a family function or something. And my dad he did. My dad called me and suggested in a very direct manner that maybe it would be better if I didn't show up to Thanksgiving. That if I was going to not be able to drink or use, that wasn't where I needed to be, because I was going to either side. And he was speaking for both my mom and my aunt and himself, that it would just, it would be more catastrophic if I showed up. And so if I couldn't, you know, restrain from using, then that probably wasn't where I needed to be. And, you know, it's interesting in talking about addiction, and that it's a disease of selfishness and self-centeredness, because of course immediately, you know, I didn't think about how me being drunk or me being using was going to wreak havoc on my family's holiday, or it was going to make the people that had cooked and, you know, traveled and whatever, like, not enjoy their day. I immediately made it about, woe is me, you know, pour me another drink. And can you believe this is happening to me? And in fact, I was telling my sponsor, this is kind of funny in retrospect, almost 28 years later, but 27 years later, we don't borrow time in recovery, so. But, you know, 27 years and 11 months later, you know, I can remember the night before going through White Castle late at night and crying to the woman that worked at White Castle after I ordered ridiculous amounts of food, you know. And I said to her, you know, my family disinvited me to Thanksgiving this year, and she felt so bad for me. I mean, I look back on this and I think, God, like, that whole scene is so weird. You know, I'm sitting there crying to the woman that works at White Castle, you know, at probably 2 o'clock in the morning, going into Thanksgiving, not even thinking that she has to work Thanksgiving, you know, or anything. And she felt so bad for me, she gave me all my food for free. You know, and then I slept all through Thanksgiving Day, and I remember waking up and seeing all of these White Castle bags in the kitchen, and, you know, and the apartment stinking of like White Castle. If you don't know, they're sliders, and so they stink. And I had onion chips and sour cream and chive fries and all this kind of stuff. I was just talking about it in my vlog. And, you know, but before that, the years before that, I can remember with my friends when I would say to them, you know, like, oh God, I need a sip of coffee, hold on. I would say, I just really don't want to go to my family's this year. God, I don't want to see my mom. I don't want to deal with my dad. I don't want to deal with my aunt so-and-so. You know, it's just like, you know, it's like, oh, God, I can't wait to get out of there quick enough. And, you know, it's interesting in retrospect, because, you know, I have been so blessed to get so much back. And even now, with my mom being gone and my aunt and uncle being gone and so many of my friends being gone, having passed away, you know, and those people that have moved away, You know, my family's very small. You know, even my in-laws now, with my brother-in-law and his fiance living in San Diego, you know, it's like they're not here. And so it's like our family is still pretty small. On Alex's side, you know, his aunt and uncle and his grandma will be there tomorrow, and his cousin, which will be fun. And his mom and his brother and the grandkids and stuff, my nephews will be there and stuff. And then we go over to my cousin's house, and it's even smaller, you know. But it's such a nice, like, I feel like it's such a gift that I have these relationships in my life, you know. And I have, I would say, not a lot, but some people in my life that, like, when the holidays come up, it's typically not people in recovery, but they'll say, like, oh God, I really just, like, you know, family time, like, stresses me out. And I know, like, toxicity within families is really tough. You know, I always tell people, put a limit on it. Like, if you want to just go for 2 hours, go for 2 hours. You don't have to stay. Just think to yourself, like, okay, I'm going to go for dinner and then I can leave. I don't have to stay for much longer than that. If, like, you know, mom or grandma is real toxic, you don't have to stay. You know, if dad says things to you that's always going to get you heated, you don't have to stay past that, you know. Or you can go into another room, you know, or you can go ask somebody to play a game in the basement. You don't have to stay in the middle of that, you know. Like my sponsor always says to me, let them twirl, you know. Let them twirl and spin and do their own thing, right? You don't have to be in the middle of all that. But I think, like, one thing, especially about addicts and alcoholics, that we're really good at is, and I just talked about this in my video the other day, is that we're really good at taking something positive and turning it into something negative. It's very much seeing the glass as half empty. You know, it's very much like, oh my God, so I'm going to my family's house for Thanksgiving. There's going to be amazing food there that there are millions of people in the world that will never even be able to have, let alone they don't have a meal to eat today. You know, and then I have actually family today, because there's a lot of people in the world, there's a lot of people watching this video right now that don't have family to spend the holidays with. They don't even have friends to spend the holiday with, you know, or they don't have the money to travel for Thanksgiving, and so they're going to be alone today, you know. And I feel for everybody out there. And so there's that, right? And then it's like, but then we want to complain anyway and say, God, I don't want to go to my family's. Be grateful. You should be grateful that you have your family to spend the holidays with. You should be grateful that there's somebody out there that's willing to prepare a meal for you, or that you're able to come up with the money to go purchase something to take over to their house, or that you cooked something, right? I think, like, one of the things I love about Thanksgiving is the cooking of it. For me, is kind of like, you know, the whole idea of, like, putting love into food and then feeding each other. And I love that idea of meals on holidays, you know, not just this holiday, but any holiday, whether that's, you know, Christmas or Easter or, you know, a birthday or whatever. And it's like, whether you go out to eat somewhere, but, like, I do really like it when it's, like, cooking at home, and you get to sit down and have, like, this home cooked meal. And, you know, I don't know, I just feel like there are these special moments. And I think very often in today's time, with as busy as we are and as much as we work and things like that, we don't really have a lot of time to just sit down with those people that we love and say, hey, let's just talk for 15 minutes, you know? And I think these are opportunities to do that. I can remember years ago when I was working in treatment, and I, like, had this, like, realization all of a sudden. I don't know why, but I was like, I work with my coworkers more than I see the people in my life that I love. I mean, I love some of my coworkers. They were fantastic people, and I'm so grateful that I got to spend time with them, but I wouldn't have chosen to spend my life with them, if that makes sense. I would have chosen to spend time with my partners and my family and friends, right? And when you're working 40 to 50 hours a week at work, and you're giving more of your time to work or to your coworkers than you are to the people in your life, then those few hours that you have during holidays or weekends or whatever are really special moments. And I'm so grateful for that today. So any opportunity that I have to spend time with my family and my friends today, I just feel so absolutely grateful and blessed for. And I want to say I am so grateful for all of you out there that continue to watch my videos and allow me to get up every single day and do what I love. I'm so thankful for that. And I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday if you're celebrating it. And I will see you on Friday. I love you guys, and I'll see you then. Bye.